I'll be really honest with you, a lot of times, especially in a house like this, there was so much going on, I had to just literally like draw first and ask questions later. And what I've learned is to try not to interpret it, because in the past I've had sites where I try to interpret, even artistically, and say, well, that doesn't quite fit with the face, and I change something, and it later, it could have been what, it's like when you change your answer on a test. So
right, second guessing yourself.
You're usually wrong.
We train our investigators to trust their first
just
instinct.
Go by instinct.
Don't worry about what it means until afterwards, because by the time you get done figuring out what it means, you're going to lose it, and you won't be able to finish.
Right, it cuts off your intuition. So I just drew the guy with the hat. It was in the billiard room, and actually that's the only time that I had the EMF detector that you let me borrow. I just happened to look down at the floor, and it was giving us a reading while I was drawing this guy.
The billiard room was not the only place in the house where investigators were subject to physical interaction. The attic, too, presented some unusual experiences. In addition to Patricia Gardner's claim of being grabbed by the arm, Robin Evans and one of the New Gravity media crew reported an unusual experience with the attic door.
I know, Robin, I remember the experience with the door.
Oh, yes.
I remember looking up and I remember seeing you just smiling with the door against your back. And I'm wondering what was going on. And I turned on the camera a little too late to capture the door moving. But can you describe what happened there?
I think there was some entity there that did not want me to go in and see that disaster. I had a nauseous feeling in my stomach, and every time I tried to go through that door, it started to close. So I finally had pulled it open, and as I was going through, something was closing it. But at this point, I was already in the way of the door, so it couldn't close. And that's when, as the door had just touched my back, is when you had turned around and saw what was going on. Because my back was to the door, but yet it was still moving and there was no wind.
And I saw it open back up. It moved back a little bit. That's when I turned on the camera and I took some video of the door, but I didn't see anything moving. And I tried getting a close-up of the bottom so you could really see. Yeah. I mean, that was an unexplainable thing to me. But
The unexplainable is precisely what groups such as ISIS are seeking. However, what's seen and what is real can very often be two different things, adding confusion to any investigation. Just such an incident was discovered in the mansion's basement when the team encountered what appeared to be a witch's altar.
can you describe what was on the table down there?
Well, there was a dagger,
Actually, there was a couple of daggers. There was like an empty bowl.
a candle.
There was a feather.
Water.
That's what
Yeah,
I noticed a feather, and I'm thinking, who keeps a feather in their basement?
Yeah.
And that's what made me go over to it.
What's the significance of these things?
It
They
was like
could
a
be
mock
ritual
altar.
too. Yeah.
Right, that's what we asked him too, because that's what it looked like.
And we know that he's conducted seances down there, according to the interview with him, and it's just not a good thing to do.
What was his explanation for the table being
A
there?
Halloween prop.
Although the general assumption is that these props were planted by the owner for the specific purpose of entertainment or to garner attention, the group still had strong feelings that these items could have adverse effects on not only the haunting of the house, but on the general spiritual energy and safety of the house as a whole. After a tedious 8-hour investigation, the numerous data gathered by the team is condensed into a 9-page report containing not only the history of the Knox Mansion, but also a chronological summary of each physical or psychic event. In spite of their claim of capturing over 30 EVPs, multiple equipment failures, physical interactions, and psychic impressions, the official results of this investigation is inconclusive due to what ISIS feels is a lack of significant scientific evidence. But still, in spite of it all, their personal opinions say otherwise.
We didn't get any photographic evidence. We got absolutely nothing on video. We did have psychic experiences, and we believe we have EVPs, but EVPs are debatable evidence too, so we have to go inconclusive. We can't say that it's haunted or it's not.
So physical evidence aside, psychically as a group, without having to prove anything, what is your feeling?
I believe it's haunted.
There was a lot of activity there. And a lot of it, even on the day of the site, it's normal to wonder, like, gee, I get all these, like, feelings and images and we just write them all down and worry about it later. But the last room we did, which was the library, some of my questions were answered, like, right away just on seeing pictures that corresponded to things that I picked up before I even had the whole history.
Which is why we had to do the library last.
Right,
Yeah.
that was the last room we did. But it's definitely, things that we were feeling were verified.
Yeah, they were definitely
psychically.
verified. So actually, we know the place is haunted. We just can't physically prove it because we didn't grab a ghost, lasso it, and get a picture.
If there were a certifiable stamp, we couldn't put it on there, but we could tell people to go hang out and they'll feel something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The tedious efforts and determination of investigation groups such as ISIS demonstrate an authentic basis for their continued research and are a testament to not only theirs, but the heartfelt belief of thousands of investigators worldwide that these events and their viewpoints of them are valid.
I think that if the public knew more, they wouldn't be as scared, and especially it could benefit children, because I've talked to quite a few that when they go to their parents push them off. And I think if the parents were just as knowledgeable, maybe they could help these kids that are scared. People have a very set mindset, and I think the more research we do and the more information we put out, it becomes more of an understanding and not as much of a fear.
As I started spending time working with the group and realized just how much we touch other people's lives, my work with the group changed, and my whole reason for being there had changed. It became much more rewarding than just learning about something that I liked.
The first reason to investigate is the reason that I like the most, because we're giving answers to people. We're helping people. I mean, that's the reason we do what we do. And that is what I like most about it. I like having the experience and seeing and hearing things that I haven't before, and maybe getting a little bit better each time and learning and growing with it. But helping people is our main reason, and that's what I enjoy the most.
I get such a joy helping people. I've had so many people thank me, even for emails answered. Kids will email me. They just want to know they're not crazy. They are seeing something or hearing something. They want somebody to believe in them. And just what you get back from them, the thanks you get, and them being able to sleep in their rooms or not sell their houses, that's the most reward anybody could get.
Part of our role is, it's a parapsychologist, really. It's part of the role is helping people cope with these problems, and some of that is helping them cope with personal problems as well. And you find that it's very rewarding when you can help somebody embrace the value of their life more, because you were able to help them with this, overcome this problem that they're having, this issue that they're having in their life.
Few investigators will argue that there is a great personal benefit to be gained from this type of research. However, regardless of the personal rewards, there is still a significant question at hand, one that has yet to be answered to the satisfaction of the public. Where's the proof? The one piece of undisputable conclusive evidence that ghosts do exist.
I'm not sure if we'll ever have that, especially in today's age of video and audio manipulation. I'm not sure if people will really believe any evidence that's put forth to them unless they've seen it with their own eyes.
I know, today the paranormal investigators, I mean, they're going in, they're being very thorough. Documentation is a key factor for each and every one of us. Setting up the cameras in the different rooms, recording everything. I think that's extremely important. But the one thing that I always try to explain to everybody, just because you can't prove something scientifically does not mean there isn't something happening or they're not going through a haunting. A lot of times you go in and you're just not going to get those things documented.
You know, I go through these times where I believe in ghosts wholeheartedly. Something will happen to me on a weekend, and all that week I'm like, oh yeah, there's ghosts. And then by the next weekend or a couple weekends after that, I'm like, well, maybe not. And then I'll come back down to the mansion, or we'll do an investigation or something, and it's like, oh yeah, there's ghosts. So it's like I go through these phases. It's tough. If you don't see it every day, then you start to rationalize everything that you witnessed or experienced in your head. And over the week, you can do a lot of rationalizing. And then also, you forget evidence too. You know, you forget that maybe this happened to you. So you're forgetting all about stuff that happened, and then just kind of reiterates every time you go to another place.
I've had my own experiences, nothing really major, but I've had my own experiences, and I believe in an afterlife. I have no problem believing that spirits are around us. Actually, in some cases, it's comforting.
As I said, I was a total skeptic before, and now I'm not a skeptic at all. I know there's something else out there that's not explainable as yet.
Please keep an open mind. Look beyond your own scope. Go outside your box, because you'd be very surprised what you will learn and what you will discover, because knowledge is a very powerful tool.
In spite of the countless hours of research, analysis, and investigations conducted by thousands of groups each year, that one piece of undisputable evidence still remains to be found. Will we ever find the answer? Will the world ever know what lies beyond the grave? Those are questions that we may never outlive, but one thing is for certain. In spite of our varying opinions and differing beliefs, we will all eventually know the truth.